What's up guys, C2 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Energup replacement for the Craftsman C3 XCP lithium ion battery. And we're going to see how the Energup stacks up with the original Craftsman in build quality. Okay guys, so here is the Energup C3 19.2 volt battery replacement. Now of course this is an aftermarket battery, so of course you always have your concerns about, is it going to be the same, is it going to work right with my tools, right? So let's first of all establish the big difference in price here. Now why would somebody buy something like this versus your Craftsman C3 XCP battery? Well, the difference is $73 versus $33. That's a big difference. That's not a small difference. I mean, that's a difference where it might actually be worth it to go aftermarket. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what's in the box. Now, this thing comes with a set of white working gloves, which I don't know why you'd get working gloves that are white, but hey, they look to be good. Now, here is the actual battery. And you can see, looks close to the original, but it's not the same. Now in this video we're going to highlight some of the differences, the improvements, the disadvantages, the advantages, and then also of course we're going to take a look inside. Now, I'm no AVE here, but I will go ahead and show you what the inside looks like, and we'll go ahead and take a look at what the cells look like as well, to see if you're really getting the 4 amp hours they claim. Let's first highlight some of the differences. So obviously the color of the plastic is a little different. In addition, if you look at the bottom here, you'll see that these molded sections are not actually that butylene overlay that's on the original, they're just hard plastic. So when the battery is sitting somewhere, or the tool is sitting somewhere, it's going to slide around more. So this is the original, it's got some grippy surface on the bottom there, but you can see this one, it's going to slide around. That's just the fact of the matter. In addition, your release tabs here have much stronger springs, so that's a good thing, I would say. But there is no butylene overlay on this either, so again, not as much grip there. Although I'm not sure that's as important. Now, one of the biggest features of the original is the battery indicator. Now, you can see the battery indicator has an indicator on the front and an LED on the side. And for all the new C3 tools, there is a translucent area of polycarbonate on the side there, so that when you hit the indicator you can read the battery level without having to turn the tool to face you, as you see there. Now if I'm doing something and impacting the hell out of a bolt that I'm just trying to get off, I don't want to have to pull the socket off of whatever I'm trying to do and turn the tool around to see the battery level. So I really do love this feature. Unfortunately, not the case here. As you see, there's no indicator LED on the side. Definitely a cost savings measure, and honestly, if one of these aftermarket companies would put that on there and maybe even charge me $10 more, I'd still buy their battery. Here's the advantage though. The original XCP batteries only have indicator color LEDs for battery level, which means you have only 3 levels to determine the remaining battery capacity: green, orange, and red. That's it. So basically, you don't really have a very good idea of how much battery you actually have left, because I don't know the exact algorithm in the electronics, but I would wager to guess that the green indicates anything from 75% and up. So you could be down to 75% of your battery capacity and it would still be showing green. And then of course yellow isn't going to indicate that much, probably anything below 75 all the way down to 30%. So again, it's not super accurate and it's not going to give you a real good idea of where you are in terms of battery. However, on this aftermarket Energup model, you can see you have a 4-bar LED indicator, which means when you push this, you have 4 bars to indicate power, and that can be divided into 25% sections. So I would argue that still gives you a much more accurate read of how much power you actually have, and I definitely appreciate that. I also just wish they paired that with some sort of LED indicator on the side, though of course I know that by doing this sort of indicator, it might be more difficult in the electronics to then program some sort of color indicator for the side. Now that we've gone over the basics, let's just make sure they work. And one of my favorite Craftsman C3 tools, the 1/2" impact here. I use this for damn near every auto repair that I ever do. So let's go ahead and do a comparison here. We'll just try the original first, which we know works. Okay. And we'll go ahead and try the aftermarket. Again, seems to operate the same, but of course, we want to know what's inside. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up and see what we get. Alrighty guys, so I've got both batteries disassembled here. I've got the tops taken off. And you've got the Sears Craftsman on the left, and you've got your Energup on the right. Now, I'm no computer scientist, but it doesn't take a genius to notice that there's a big difference in the electronics. Now, on the left here, you can see just how complicated this circuit board is. There's probably a lot more sensing going on, and maybe even safety tech for sure. You know, on the right here in the Energup, there still is some circuitry, and I would argue some temperature sensing, and definitely some smart charge technology. I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything out. Now, you can see that the basic structure of your charge tower here seems to be pretty similar. There's some supporting pins here, and of course everything is reinforced by your outer casing, which is very rigid. And both sides, you know, you can see the Energup and the Sears Craftsman both have a lot of support ridging on the inside there, so definitely pretty hard stuff. Now, let's see, this is polycarbonate plus ABS. This is just ABS plastic. And I think the same goes for this as well. Now, if we check the rigidity, okay, this is the Craftsman, okay. The Energup, honestly, about on par with the rigidity of the Craftsman. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Now, you can see here, definitely the Craftsman, the charge prongs are a lot better affixed, you can see here, but we're going to go ahead and try and get the whole assembly to come out here. So we'll get the Energup to slide out here. Let's make sure those release tabs aren't in the way. Okay, now we've got the assembly out of the case. Do the same with the Craftsman. Alright guys, it was a bit of a struggle, but the Craftsman has been disassembled as well. So as you can see here, you can see the full pack, and I identified the pink ones over here as some new Samsung INR 18650 cells, and of course over here you've got your old standard Samsung INR 18650s as well. So I have to say I am impressed. These are legit cells. This is not BS, you know, they're not using cheap Chinese ones that are filled with sand or something funky like that. Now, if we take a look here and we look at the Craftsman and we get an up-close look, you can see how all the solder connections seem to be pretty neat. But on the Energup, they're a little less than so. I mean, you can see your pass-through connections for direct battery contact here. They're leaving a lot of extra there and not really getting her all the way through those pass-through holes there. And as a result, there's a possibility for this section of wire right here and all the long ones over here to sort of fatigue out and lose contact, and that could be a problem. So, you know, if your battery pack stops working or starts sparking or doing weird things like that, that's definitely something to take a look at. But, you know, otherwise, again, circuitry seems solid. I'm no electrical engineer, so I can't tell you anything beyond this, but I can tell you it does seem legit, and you know, maybe there's a little bit less current sensing and super technology going on here, but it does seem to function normally. I will give you also a long-term review. I'm going to use this a lot, obviously. So once I've had some more time to really get to know the system, then maybe my opinion will change, and maybe I'll find that, you know, it starts smoking or something crazy because there's less current sensing or whatever. But as it stands right now, I'm at least happy to know that the cells in here are legit, just like on the original. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like. If you have one of these batteries and you are excited to use it, or if you actually have some good or bad experiences, please leave them below in the comments. It'll help everybody out. And if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you get subscribed.